In around mid-2020, I bought, downloaded, and played a game called Gas Station Simulator. It was a throwaway purchase, a meme. But while I was playing it, I got inspired to write a script for this channel. There was something about this game that struck me, something I really wanted to express. And so I wrote, finished a script, recorded it, edited my footage, and then got hit with a triple dose of depression, anxiety, and creative burnout. I don't need to reiterate all the things that were happening in 2020 in the United States and worldwide. I felt like I was smack in the middle of a whirlpool of chaotic events, far too many points of importance whirling around, and no common point of reference other than that a pandemic was shutting down life as we knew it, and cities around me were on fire. I could not find the creative spark that drove me before in the midst of fear and pain and seeming endless hopelessness. So I stopped working on the video, and on the channel, kind of just went signal dark. And here we are in 2023, and I'm still trying to figure out what happened. In the meantime, the message I wanted to express that was perfectly encapsulated in Gas Station Simulator, of all things, is still relevant. So in an effort to get back to normal, I'm finishing this video. Parts of it are going to be out of date. The voiceover will have been recorded at different times, but I need to do it. So bear with me throughout this one. I think it'll be worth it. That being said, I'm going to cut to my cold open, which goes something like, no, I didn't die, I burned out, but before I did, I bought a simulator game, and it's actually relevant. And I picked up this little genre title that just released, Gas Station Simulator, and while I was playing it, I got inspired, and I thought it'd be worth talking about because it's actually relevant. How's that, you say? Well, let me start at the beginning. You, as this guy in this game, as one does, you get some money from your slightly unscrupulous uncle, who looks like if Zorro was in the Mafia, to buy a gas station out in the middle of nowhere on Route 66. I try to be vague about the location of this gas station, but I immediately sensed specificity. I mean, all the saguaro cactuses, the California Highway Patrol cars, the occasional dust storms. You're probably on Route 66 in the southeastern corner of California, near the Arizona border, an area frequented by dust storms in the 2000s. In fact, if I had to put money on it, I would say that this gas station specifically is based on Roy's Motel and Cafe in Amboy, California. Population? 4. The buildings look really similar, the orientation of the road and the mountains seen on the horizon are almost dead on, and Roy's itself has already been used for about half a dozen movie shoots and music videos. Roy's has instantiated itself into part of the Americana associated with Route 66, and it's not surprising that, for authenticity's sake, say, a bunch of Polish guys took a real location and tried to mimic it in a gas station simulation game. So, your uncle, the gangster, initially calls you from a pay telephone on the edge of the highway where you've bought this derelict gas station. You're meant to turn this place into a cash cow so you can pay your uncle back, and your uncle has some ideas on how to do it, mainly by scrubbing the dust off the rust and turning the rust into riches, somehow. Uncle Zorro follows his payphone call up with an email, which you can access in your full-service gas station via a computer with a massive CRT monitor. To run a gas station, you have to buy gas, which you do over the internet. Fillerup.com, I'm sure, and it arrives in the milk truck from the Brady Bunch. Clients come in their amazing, surely brand new, befinned spaceship cars and wait in line to be serviced at your full-service gas station. This was common in the 50s, having a guy pump your gas and check your tire pressure, but these days, having full service at a gas station is usually too expensive for most commercial businesses, and it's usually a novelty with gas at, holy crap, $2.25 a liter? Usually we measure gas in gallons in the good old USA, and gas isn't anything close to $8.50 a gallon. Yet, give it another 2 months, we'll get there, 2021, you and me. Quick note here, I wrote and recorded this in the fall of 2021, and the joke obviously doesn't work anymore, it being the new year. But I wanted to keep this section in here because I did not honestly think that things would get this bad.
But it did get worse.
I requested a number of guys on my Discord that I keep in touch with to send me pictures of gas prices from around the country, and for the most part, stuff in the Midwest, South, and East Coast didn't peak $4 a gallon at the time. But it was increasingly apparent that, particularly in the area of the country this game is set, yeah, it actually is that bad. It's up and down. I think the peak of something like $7.50 a gallon was in this little town where gas prices are historically pretty high, but it's still just really great, particularly for a game that was likely in development before the pandemic even hit, that they set a comically high gas price, and it was actually a prediction for 2021. Life imitates art and all that. I'll let me continue. I just wanted to point that out. Even at exorbitant prices, you'll need more than to just sell gas to get this rust dump thriving again. You need to renovate the bathrooms. They'll be pay toilets, of course, and sell all sorts of drinks, knickknacks, and snacks in the main building. If I was running a gas station today, I would be selling CBD oil and cell phone chargers, but there are none of those to be found. I don't think I have to explain too much of the gameplay here. If you've played a simulator game in the last couple of years, the current genre conventions in this simulator game are exactly in the median. You start out with barely enough to make headway, a fairly slow-paced introduction to very basic but time-consuming tasks, and you unlock upgrades to either increase the number of those time-consuming tasks, make them easier or faster, or automate them. When you hit the mid-game, you have an overwhelming number of relatively easy tasks scattered with a few emergencies. Your primary goal is to keep up with the shitstorm long enough to make it just a little bit ahead, unlock something that makes you just a little bit more efficient so that the shitstorm is just a little bit more palatable. All the tasks themselves are really perfunctory. Scan items at the checkout, fuel cars, unload supply trucks, and sweep the little dusty footprints and pick up the litter from your dirtbag clientele. You're always operating at a profit. In fact, as far as I can tell, there's no way you can not operate at a profit. And the upgrades you all unlock both increase your capacity and make your job easier. You can get more storage space, so you can make orders further apart, you get more pumps, so you can fuel more cars, more parking spaces for more clients, and you can hire employees who can do some tasks autonomously. Some of the upgrades make your job more complex by offering more services, from the bathrooms to more candy and stuffed animals in the store, to a garage where your customers can get their cars serviced. Ah, good afternoon, Mr. Musk. I see you're driving one of your famous electric station wagons today. As a game, Gas Station Simulator is simple and incredibly casual. You really can't lose or screw up too bad. Worst thing that might happen is the AI might bug out, and you may have to shut the place down for a little while to give you time to backload or ram the little tykes back into place. I reached peak Gas Station after only around 10 hours of playtime, and it was really cyclical game time. All of the in-game tasks are simple and repetitive enough that your main goal is going to be trying to get someone else to do it so you can actually run the station. I believe it was the late John Bain who said that if you've designed your game so the main goal of your game is to escape or avoid the mechanics in the game, then maybe you want to reconsider your game's mechanics. Now, I get that this is ultimately a game about running a gas station. You are going to have these sort of repetitive tasks, and it might feel like work at a certain point. And that's what I was thinking when I was playing. Why the hell am I doing this for free? Hell, I paid to sweep up virtual footprints for hours and hours. I could have made some money while doing this. This could have been constructive time for me. But I ultimately found the game entertaining. There was something pushing me to restock the little shelves and haul the little boxes in a game that had no real challenge and decreasing novelty the longer I stayed at it. I said this game was relevant to my state of mind today, and it is. We are currently living through incredibly interesting times, part of which is what people are calling the Great Resignation. People lost their jobs during COVID, and people quit their jobs during COVID, and a lot of them haven't gone back. I think COVID forced people, even the workaholics, to take a look at what was really important to them, and for a lot of people, That's family. That's their own projects. It's not money, the work, sleep, work cycle, and the consumer cycle. I know, big revelation here. Money is not the most important thing in life, and the idea of just sucking it up and dealing with dehumanizing working conditions is less and less appealing to people. The abundance of help wanted signs that most people can see in their local cities and towns shows me that a lot of people are in the same state of mind. Work culture in the USA is a little bit lopsided, and I think I'm underselling it. There was a time when people would work 20, 30 years for the same company, and they were happy with that because there was a sense of purpose. They were paid well, they had a good retirement scheme, and they had time to spend with their families. You could see forward movement within a company, and you could carve your own space out in it and be proud of what you'd accomplished. What's more, this kind of work had value and dignity. You did not have an entire culture telling you that working as a lineman or in a sewer or serving food was undignified. But you certainly do now. A lot of people in my generation were sold a bill of sale that going to college was your best and only way of getting ahead in life, being respected in the world for your work, and having a work culture that our parents and grandparents enjoyed. Trade schools were for suckers. You had to get a 4-year degree to be happy and a master's or PhD to be successful, and the people who got jobs right out of high school were going to be miserable in life inherently. And then we graduated college, and a lot of us ended up working these jobs that were not what we had been envisioned or promised. In a lot of the STEM, tech, and creative fields, you are either working as a wage slave to a giant corporation, or you're working in a better middle creative or management role to make a giant corporation even bigger. Even when you got to the very top of these fields, I found that a lot of people who were very disillusioned about it. I know people in the medical field who say that it's just a money game now, and hospital policy is ruining people's health for the sake of the bottom line. I know engineers with multiple patents who say that they feel their work was stolen from them. I know creative professionals who do great work and who can't get their work published because it's not what's in vogue right now. But then there's the other side of this education to workplace pipeline that is wholly rejected by millennials. The work for the other people, blue-collar work. There's this statistic floating around, and I don't know how exactly accurate it is, but it goes, for every 5 people working in the trades that retires, 2 join. Whether or not this is entirely accurate, I will not claim. I do know that every person I've talked to who works in the trades or logistics or the business of making or fixing stuff says there are a bunch of old heads retiring and nobody coming in to replace them. To paraphrase Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs, that's going to be catastrophic for those of us who are used to housing and running water and electricity and food on the shelves at your grocery store. I think that the negative cultural attitude that we currently have around blue-collar work and the trades is not serving anybody particularly well. And I think that the willingness of the average person to accept the mega corporation into their daily lives allows these corporations to corrupt the desire to work in a field that has some meaning and dignity to the current generation to that corporation's ends. And I'll step back a little bit. Yes, this is only a slice of my generation that I'm familiar with, and there are people who have found their path in life and who are very happy. And good for them. But there is an entire section that aren't. And here is where Gas Station Simulator, of all things, weighs on my mind. Why am I doing this? I am busting my digital ass to go faster and faster. Clean the bathroom, scan the products, clean the store, run the pumps, go answer the phone for Uncle Zorro, go pick the locks on the trunks of the cars in the parking lot, because that's what Uncle Zorro wants, right in front of the police who don't care at all that you do this, even to their own cars. But I'm doing it, and I'm pushing myself to do it harder, and I'm having fun, and I want to do it more. Why is that? Why am I pushing myself to do a job for free that I would have to be paid to do with real money in real life that an entire sector of my generation has utterly cast aside as a hellscape fit for no one but robots? And why, oh why, is there an entire burgeoning market of games that are a very similar sell? Basically, a blue-collar job simulator. do these things that you would do in a job. Oh, sure, the exotic ones make sense. Police simulator, firefighter simulator, flight simulator. Try out these kind of exciting jobs without having the experience or consequences of actually having to do them for real, but truck driving simulator, gas station attendant simulator, goddamn, lawn mowing simulator, and I own half of these games. I know there's something compelling about them. Every time Playway SA releases something, I'm right there to buy it. And I know these are not jobs that in real life are front-loaded with exciting labor, thrilling rides, noble status. Usually the first thing you want to know about these jobs are how long for how much. There is no cultural capital to be gained from doing these things in real life, so why am I fantasizing about doing them? I'm not alone. Farming Simulator 22 outpaced Battlefield 2042 last year every day, even on release. That's probably because Battlefield is a AAA franchise running on fumes, and Farming Simulator 22 is probably the most approachable simulator that I've played to date, but I digress. I'm going to go on a limb here. I think the reason that people generally like these work simulators is twofold. First, these are not soulless corporate job simulator. Most of them are variations on self-employment simulator. You're usually not an employee of these in-game companies. You start as a sole proprietor and work your way up from nothing to something. I'm doing these jobs for myself. I'm not doing them for McAmazon. I'm not even doing them for an individual boss. My fate is in my hands. If I don't clean up the little virtual footprints, then my virtual gas station is going to suffer. And when I accomplish something, it benefits me. I think there is a genuine entrepreneurial spirit that people are desperate for. Giant corporations have gobbled up all the small spaces. The places where small companies could be started and thrive are now Walmart or Amazon, Target, Google, Procter & Gamble, Pfizer, and this has been happening for decades. I think this is married with the second reason I'm playing these games, a genuine fascination that people have for some of these jobs, but not just the surface level of the job. I mean everything about it. Have you ever taken apart a lawnmower engine? They're fascinating. Have you ever done research on grass seed or gardening or horticulture? It's pretty cool stuff. Playing Farming Simulator, I'm learning about all of these cool automated farming implements, and then I go out on the highway driving somewhere and I can see these things stacked up behind a field out in the middle of nowhere, and I say, hey, that's a cultivator. I've used one of those, kind of. Hey, what's your field look like? And let me look at the harvesting patterns in your field. Oh, so you do one circuit around the outside and then back and forth in the middle, so you have room to turn the harvester. Oh yeah, I get it now. Something that was totally foreign to me that I can now get invested into without having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on the actual cost of buying an actual farm. But maybe I do want to buy an actual farm or become an actual gunsmith or an actual car mechanic because maybe this stuff is fun and interesting, and I've been led astray, like so many others in my generation, to believe that the only way I'll be happy is if I pursue the standard vision of success. If you are not satisfied with your corporate job, if something is lacking in your life, if you find yourself playing otherwise corporate job type simulator games, maybe you desire the thrill of entrepreneurship, to try your very hardest to see something succeed because that is your thing. Maybe instead of playing Gas Station Simulator or Lawn Mowing Simulator, go start your own thing. And it could be anything. One of the benefits of the modern age is that information is so available. So go get a Class B license and drive your own truck. Go learn electrical engineering, become an apprentice, go get some wood and eggs and start your own chicken coop to sell eggs. Start your own business. It might be incredibly satisfying, and at the end of the day, you'll have a thing that you did, and not just a virtual thing that you did.
Or hell, maybe you really like mowing virtual grass or sweeping virtual floors. What do I know? I'm making a mountain out of a molehill on purpose here, trying to make some sense out of this $20 genre game I just played. For only 10 hours, by the way. Gas Station Simulator is not that long, and it's kind of buggy, so, take that into account. I should probably round this out by turning that entrepreneurial spirit thing back on myself. Yeah, it's been 2 years since I published a video on this channel, and for those who are waiting, welcome back. Hi, thanks for sticking around. YouTube was something I did because I enjoyed it. I got the same kind of satisfaction I just finished describing from making videos and interacting with people on the channel. At some point, though, I burned out, and I know that happens to a lot of people, and I didn't think it would happen to me. I kept pushing, but that didn't help, and all of the complete insanity during 2020 sort of forced my hand, and I had to take a break. Obviously, I made a video, so I'm not gone, but I really have to reevaluate how I do things to avoid burning out on them. I want to enjoy this. I think I've figured out a way of enjoying this, and I want to continue, but I don't think it's going to be weekly videos, even monthly videos, at least in this format. I'm still figuring everything out. I think a joyous life ends when you've decided you're done figuring everything out. For those who are willing to be patient, thanks for taking your time with me. When you're done here, try to find something to do that serves you, only you, that builds something, and make a promise to yourself to work on it again later. Who knows, it might turn into something cool, and just working on that thing will show you just what you can accomplish. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.